Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all our audience all over the globe. We want to welcome you to another edition of ICAN On Air. This is where we showcase the intelligence, the intellectual capacity of our noble institute. My name is Dr. Bode Oguntoke. You can call me DBO. We'll be discussing very important issue today. On behalf of the 62nd president of our Noble Institute, Ajia Kwesile Sofuratu Segusime, FCA, we want to say you are welcome. And with me today,
good evening, Dr. Bode. It's a pleasure doing this with you, and a warm evening to all of our viewers from across the globe. Welcome to ICAN On Air. Kemute Tijere is my name.
You're welcome. Today we'll be discussing something very, very important. Many hear so much about insurance. They have their fears, they have their excitement about insurance. So we'll be looking at beyond premiums, how ethical insurance is reshaping finance in Nigeria. Before we go ahead, let's go on a short break.
He knows what it takes to succeed.
She has the skill to move financial mountains.
So can you with ICAN and the CGMA designation.
She has the confidence to lead finance in Nigeria.
He's ready to become a finance leader.
So can you with ICAN and the CGMA designation.
Great. Welcome back, our esteemed audience. And as you join the program this evening, we'd like to know where you are joining us from. So please hit the comments and let us know where you are joining us from. Again, today we'll be examining how ethical insurance practices are transforming the industry, enhancing investors and consumer confidence, as well as supporting financial inclusion and creating long-term value for businesses and individuals alike. And we have a guest in the studio to do justice to this topic. Our guest is a seasoned executive with over 20 years of experience in Takaful Insurance, business development, and Islamic finance in Nigeria. As Chief Business Development Officer at Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, he leads strategic growth, market expansion, and partnership initiatives, driving the company's transformation within the non-interest financial sector. Is widely respected for his technical expertise and innovative leadership. Our guest has played pivotal roles in advancing Takaful operations and financial inclusion. His blend of strategic vision, operational excellence, and deep industry knowledge makes him a valuable asset for executive leadership, board advisory, and strategic partnerships across Africa's financial services landscape. My distinguished viewers, can you help me give an icon welcome to our guest today, Ismaeel Ayanlere? Welcome to the program, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you
Yeah,
very
good
much.
evening. You are welcome to this special edition of ICAN On Air. Behind the screen, we have been having a various conversation.
Sure.
There's a common saying that insurance is the safety net that allows you to bounce back from life unexpected challenges. And we believe that guesting you today will grant our global audience the opportunity to learn from your depth of knowledge. Let's kick off this discussion this way. When we hear insurance, there's so much that needs to be understood about it. So, in simple terms, what is insurance, and what are the
Okay.
kinds or key classifications that our global audience should know about insurance?
Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. So, based on the question you've asked, I will just go straight to tell you that, well, insurance in simple terms is a financial protection mechanism, you know, that helps individuals, businesses, and organizations to manage their financial consequences, of unexpected events that could happen. We call them perils in insurance. And those perils could be peril of death, illness, accidents, fire, which is common around us, theft, and other forms of loss. So again, for the all these stakeholders I've mentioned, so rather than bearing the entire financial burden alone, when such unfortunate event occurs, such individuals or organizations, transfers their risk to an insurance company in exchange for a consideration or a contribution that is, of course, known as premium. So if I want to look at the preamble I've given, I will say that broadly insurance can be classified into two major classes or categories as the case may be. We have life insurance. And when we talk about life insurance, that focuses on risk associated with human lives, such as death, illness, disability, as the case may be, and in some cases, long-term financial, protection. Then we have the non-life insurance called the general insurance, which covers non-life risks such as motor, property, marine, fire. Then we have liability insurance too, which is part of the general insurance class. So, but I quickly want to add this. In addition, we have the Takaful model of insurance, which offers more of a Sharia-compliant approach to risk management, and is specifically based on mutual cooperation and shared responsibility amongst the participants. So some really, whether it is conventional insurance or the Takaful model of insurance, most importantly, the fundamental purpose is the same: to provide a financial resilience and peace of mind when an unexpected event occurs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ismaeel. From what I gather that you just said now, is insurance is a financial protection mechanism that helps us manage financial consequences of unexpected events. I think that's apt and straight to the point. I would like to ask, we all know that the insurance industry is a global industry, and that even from what you've painted in your earlier response, it has relationship with many aspects of human activities. Can you please give us an overview of the Nigerian insurance industry? How does it operate? What are the divisions? And how does it compare with insurance in other economies?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. And okay, so when we look at the Nigerian insurance landscape or the Nigerian insurance industry, of course, it's an important component of the financial service sector within the financial sector. And like I mentioned earlier, it provides protection against risk and equally supporting individual businesses and government and several other economic activities. And how is this done? Basically, it's through risk transfer and financial security to these entities. So the industry, like we know, is regulated by the National Insurance Commission. And like I mentioned earlier too, it broadly operates across two major segments. The life insurance segments that I've mentioned earlier, which provide protection and long-term, financial solution around human life. And of course, non-life insurance, which is general insurance, which covers risk that I mentioned earlier, such as motor property, fire, marine aviation, and so on and so forth. The industry has equally witnessed the growth of Takaful, which is a model of insurance that we have adopted in Nigeria too, which provide more of a cooperative and Sharia compliant alternatives to the conventional insurance that we are used to. So when we now compare what we have in Nigeria, the Nigerian insurance markets with the other clients, the United Kingdom, United States, for example, in Africa, yes, South Africa, for example, I think in Nigeria we still have a significant room for growth, particularly in terms of insurance penetration, which goes with public awareness of insurance itself, the product innovation, and most importantly, the reason why insurance is bought, claims confidence, and a chunk of the large economy, the informal economy that is not fully tapped when it comes to insurance penetration. But when we look at Nigeria with our population, the expanding middle class, then of course, issue of growing digital economy, coupled with the new regulations that we have for insurance operation in Nigeria today. So increasing regulatory reforms and probably infrastructure and business activities could present some enormous opportunities. So while the Nigerian market may currently lag behind, more mature economic, compared to the more mature economy in penetration and density, I think the fundamental for substantial growth are still very strong because of our population, and the industry has the potential to play, a much greater role in mobilizing this long-term funds that comes from insurance to protect wealth, supporting investments, and most importantly, to strengthen the resilience of our Nigerian economy. So the penetration is still not there compared to other clients, but again, we have the potential to grow better. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. You mentioned the regulator in the industry, that's NICOM, and you also explained the challenge of insurance penetration in Nigeria. Considering what, now let's go to legislation. Considering what the Nigeria Insurance Industry Reform Act, NIRA 2025, was out to achieve, we want you to tell us what is your unbiased assessment of the practical achievement and other milestones today. Will you say it's good, satisfactory, poor, and what are your reasons?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. Just to bring to the fore that when we want to consider NIRA 2025, that's the new insurance act that governs the operation of insurance in Nigeria, came out towards the later part of last year. Rather than being able to judge it as either good, excellent, as the case may be, I would rather say that it is emerging and tending towards good. Because again, like I said, we are still at the early stage of implementation, and of course, there is more work to be done. But again, the act itself represents a significant milestone because it has provided a more comprehensive and modern legal and regulatory framework. It aimed at developing a viable, more competitive and innovative insurance industry. Most importantly, strengthening protection of policyholders, of course, and other stakeholders in the business. In as much as we are already seeing some important milestones around stronger regulation oversight, because again, several guidelines have started coming from our regulator in relation to NIRA. As we go, we will see that the true impact of NIRA rather will ultimately be measured by sustained improvement in insurance penetration when all these, guidelines come here put into place and is being practicalized. So it will now increase public trust, of course, claims experience, of course, financial strength of the operator, because part of what NIRA has come to achieve is to bring up the capital of insurance company. For example, as we speak, by the end of this month, July, that is almost ended, all insurance companies are expected to have recapitalized. We have the life insurance company, their current share capital is 2 billion, supposed to be raised to 10 billion. For non-life, which is 3 billion currently, they are supposed to jack it up to, of course, 15 billion. And for insurance companies that currently is 5 billion, they are supposed to show up to at least 25 million, 35 million, 35 billion, or rather, as the case may be. All of this is to improve, how insurance is perceived, and to give, of course, policyholder that safety nets, so that when insurance are bought, not that they can go to sleep, but they'll be rest assured that to a large extent they're adequately covered. So, in my view, the foundation has been laid very well anyway. So the next phase is all about effective implementation, consistent enforcement by the regulator, then stakeholder collaboration too is important, and equally transforming the reform into tangible benefit, for the Nigerian public and the economy as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ismaeel. So you did mention that when it comes to the perception about insurance, from the layman's perspective, they just view it simply as, at least those of them who have a little bit of knowledge about insurance. Oh, insurance is simply paying premiums, making claims. And you agree with me that the level of economic uncertainty in Nigeria is is on the rise. So, what would you, even with all of that uncertainty, one would have thought that people would be more receptive to embracing insurance. But still, Nigeria's insurance penetration remains the lowest, especially in Africa. As an insurance expert and a knowledge coach in this subject, what do you think could be the reason or reasons for this low penetration?
Thank you very much for this question, because there is a recurrent, phrase that has always been said, that insurance penetration in Nigeria has been less than 1% over time. In short, it's a narrative we've had over time. And honestly, when we still look at it as of today, compared to the gross domestic product, insurance penetration in Nigeria is still less than 1%. So when we now look at all of this, for me, I believe the Nigerian low insurance penetration is going to be a result of a combination of factors rather than a single challenge. First off, I can say we have limited insurance awareness among the insuring populace. And the issue of financial literacy, because again, you need to be financially literate to even be able to access, financial, facilities, insurance inclusive. So limited insurance awareness has been there. Financial literacy amongst the insurance populace out there is equally a factor. Because I can tell you that today, many people still perceive insurance simply as just paying premiums and hoping never to make a claim, rather than a strategic tool for managing, financial risk and protecting wealth. So that's one aspect of it. And I think secondly, there's this issue of trust and confidence, trust deficit in the insurance industry. For some people, they just believe they are paying premiums. When it comes to payment of claim as a result of loss, maybe that's when series of, questions will start coming up and so on and so forth. So, and like I said, particularly around claims experience, like that I've just mentioned, and again, we must also recognize the size of the Nigerian informal economy, so that when it comes to insurance penetration, we should be able to tap effectively into this informal economy for them to be inclusive in the financial sector, insurance part of what we are saying. So where many individuals and businesses operate outside the traditional financial insurance structure, some insurance products have equally been perceived as being complex. Maybe insurance is for the rich. It's not meant for, the middle class, the case may be. It's expensive or poorly tailored to the actual need of the mass market. So distribution and accessibility remains a challenge, especially outside the major urban centers, as the case may be. We have insurance policies that are, compulsory insurance policies that naturally people are supposed to pick up. Third-party insurance, for example, group life insurance, for example. But enforcement of this compulsory insurance is equally still lacking. And these are part of the combination of issues that have led to this low penetration that has been the narrative over time. So for me as an industry, I think we must therefore look inward as well. So we need to simplify our products, improve our customer experience and claim settlement, most importantly. Of course, technology is always an enabler, so we need to embrace technology and several alternative channels of distribution so that this will enable us to deepen financial education and design solutions around the realities of Nigerians, rather than expecting Nigerians to adopt insurance the way it is. So summarily, I would say that increasing penetration requires a lot of trust-based partnership between regulators, we, the underwriters, the insurers, intermediaries, governments, several other financial institutions, and the public as a whole. Because insurance, for me, will only become truly mainstream when people understand it, they can afford it. Most importantly, they can access it easily, accessibility of buying insurance. And most importantly, believe that, it will deliver when the need is mostly required, which is a trust that is being sold. And when loss occur, at least claims should be effectively and promptly paid. Thank you.
Ismaeel, this is wonderful. I picked something from what you said now, that insurance will actually become the mainstream when people understand it, when they can afford it, and when they can access it. But all this must have been the challenge of insurance company, and doing the same thing and expecting different outcomes. Some people will say is a symptoms of madness. And I think due to the innovative approaches to solving women problems, ethical insurance is a model that is believed to be a bit different from the conventional insurance. We want to ask you to run our global viewers through its characteristics, its principles, benefits, and examples. The topic for today is beyond premiums, how ethical insurance is reshaping finance in Nigeria. Is there or are there meeting points with conventional or traditional insurance model?
Thank you very much for this question. And is a part of the industry that is very dear to my heart, as it were, anyway. So, when we talk about ethical insurance, particularly in the context of the Takaful model of insurance, the other time I was giving the classification of insurance, life insurance, non-life, I made mention of Takaful model of insurance too. That is equally growing. That is equally, getting the necessary traction and awareness in the country today. So ethical insurance, looking at it from the lens of the Takaful model of insurance, is equally an approach to risk management, but it places greater emphasis on mutual responsibility, fairness on the part of the insured now, or the people we call the participant or the clients, transparency, and shared risk. That shared risk I will explain, because that's one mechanism that Takaful model of insurance thrives on. And of course, responsible investments, So fundamentally, it has a principle that traverse mutual cooperation, shared responsibility, transparency, fairness, avoidance of exploitation, and investment in what we call permissible and socially responsible activities. because permissibility in terms of investment is very key when it comes to investing premium that we call contribution that comes from the, the insured that we call the participants. Now, unlike the conventional model where risk is generally transferred, I mentioned the shared risk. So I want to relate it to conventional insurance model now. So unlike the conventional insurance model where risk is generally transferred from the policyholder to the insurer in exchange for a premium, Takaful is equally a model of insurance, but it's based on participants coming together to contribute into a common fund from where eligible claims are paid. So they own their money, they are contributing into this common fund. Now an operator, who is the Takaful operator, is now employed to manage that fund on their behalf. So that is a risk sharing mechanism, So for conventional model is a risk transfer. I transfer my risk to the insurance company. I pay my premium over the period of insurance and I'm under cover. So that when I suffer a loss within that period of insurance, I actually get indemnified by the insurance company. Now, looking at it from the point of Takaful, yes, I still identify a risk. I want to insure against that risk. But again, we are now pulling resources together into a common pool to jointly guarantee ourselves against any of this eventuality. But because we do not have the expertise to manage this common pool, we are now employing the service of the Takaful operator to manage that pool on our behalf, first off, to settle claim when any of us within the insurance field suffers a loss. And the beauty of Takaful now comes from the fact that that common pool is only being managed by the Takaful operator. And to a large extent, when claims are settled within the insurance period, maybe reinsurance expenses are paid, whatever is left in that common, and of course, the Takaful operator has equally taken his own administrative charges ab initio, whatever is left in that pool of funds still belongs to the participants. We always use this slogan of a win-win type of insurance, where, of course, when the participant suffers a claim, is duly paid his claim from this common pool being managed by the Takaful operator. And when there remains in that pool some certain level of funds that has not been used within the same insurance period, that money is flowed back to other participants that do not make a claim within that same period as what we call surplus. So there's always a clawback of cash to participants in the pool that do not make a claim within the insurance period. So summarily, conventional insurance is primarily built around risk transfer, while Takaful is built around risk sharing and mutual cooperation based on my explanation. But both ultimately seek to achieve the same broad objective, that is protecting people, businesses, and the economy against the uncertainties when it happens. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ismaeel. That's very, very, very insightful. If I understood you correctly, you said ethical insurance is built around mutual responsibility, right, between the insurer and the insured, and it borders around transparency, fairness, and then responsible investments. Okay, so and there's this risk sharing rather than risk transfer. And then there's also provision for surplus after claims have been paid to be given to other participants who have not made claims within that period. That sounds very, 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 very good. And I want us to revisit, traditional insurance. And I think from the conversation so far, we've been able to agree that there's a trust deficit when it comes to traditional insurance, especially with regards to claims payouts. I mean, I've had people come sell insurance to me and it looks so good, but they don't tell you the fine prints. They don't tell you those areas where that may deny you, of your ability to make claims. So my question to you at this junction is, in what ways, can this ethical insurance model address that credibility gap, which is something that we have identified in the conversation? And what role do you see ethical insurance playing in the Nigeria financial system in the nearest future?
Okay, thank you very much for this question too. But honestly, I want to approach this question objectively. And I will say this, that the challenge is not that traditional insurance does not pay claims.
Okay.
I can tell you for free that reputable insurance companies in Nigeria today pay legitimate claim virtually every day. Legitimate claim virtually when it comes off. However, where customers sometimes experience delays, uncertainty, or some exclusions in the policy they've bought, which probably was not clear to them, maybe have an issue. These are some of the issues that happens that tend to create this kind of trust deficits. But again, when we look at it from the ethical insurance perspective, particularly, of course, the Takaful model of insurance, it has that opportunity to strengthen this credibility. While I was mentioning the futures of the ethical insurance earlier, I mentioned, transparency, fairness on the part of the participants, mutual cooperation among those participants, most importantly, clear disclosures. Because when you buy insurance policies, sometimes there are terms and conditions, exclusions, and what have you in the document. When it comes to ethical insurance practice, there shouldn't be any form of ambiguity right from day one. The participant, who is the insurer, must understand perfectly what is buying ab initio. Clear terms, clear disclosures. I mentioned responsible investment the other time. And most importantly, a strong alignment between the interest of the operator, and that of the participants. Because I mentioned earlier, this common pool that the participants are contributing into for the purpose of, tending to their claims when they suffer a loss, or even redistributing surplus where we have where money is left in that pool after claims are settled. The money belongs to them. They are the owners of their money. So alignment between the interest of the operator and the participants in this arrangement is very important. And this is what ethical insurance has brought to bear. Because like I mentioned earlier, they contribute into a common pool from where eligible claims are paid. And the function of the operator is just to manage that fund on their behalf. So they are the owners of their money. And I want to say this, there is a principle around the Takaful model of insurance that speaks to fund separation, which allows the shareholders' fund being managed separately from, the common fund that the participants are contributing into, and it's meant to settle claims. So to a large extent, when a loss occurs to any of the participants within the same insurance period, that common fund cannot be merged with the shareholders' fund. So when claims happens, the prerogative of the common fund that the operator is managing is to ensure that that claim is paid. So the money is always there to pay claims. So it's easier to pay claims, considering the lens of ethical insurance. And this, to a large extent, brings that trust that probably seems to be deficient when we look at it from the lens of, the Takaful model of insurance. So ultimately, I would just say that, trust will remain the most valuable currency of insurance. And I want to believe that ethical insurance, which is Takaful model of insurance, has come to display this practically. So the future of insurance in Nigeria will not only be determined by how much business we write anyway, but how much trust we build in the industry, which I think ethical insurance or the Takaful model of insurance is going. And trust is always built when customers understand the promise we make. And when that unexpected happens, we deliver that promise excellently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ismaeel. We want you to know that people are watching us across the globe, and our national colleagues and our viewers, we want to acknowledge you. We want to answer your questions. But before we do that, while you put your questions on the chat box, let's quickly go on a short break.
He knows what it takes to succeed.
She has the skill to move financial mountains.
So can you with ICAN and the CGMA designation.
She has the confidence to lead finance in Nigeria.
He's ready to become a finance leader.
So can you with ICAN and the CGMA designation.
Welcome back, our professional colleagues. We acknowledge your presence. We are here because you are here. We want to recognize your presence. Yunusa Abdulatif Aremu, we recognize you, even though we don't know where you are joining us from, but we know that we also have Said Rafiu joining us from Ibadan. Elumide Sanusi also joining us through the YouTube. We are also glad to have Tolulope Comfort from Ibadan and Ogbujoy Miniku joining us from Port Harcourt and District Society. Once again, Fagbola Temitope Adeniyi streaming live from Oluyole from Ibadan. We are also happy to have Rabiu Ahmed Sabo ACA joining us from Gombe. You are welcome. Oluwafeyi Shayo Oluwafemi is joining us from Abuja. We also recognize another person from Abuja, Ibrahim Akim, joining us from Abuja. Let's also see, we also have Isaiah Akinwumi joining us from Akure, Ondo State. We also have Folusho Clement Olushola joining us from Onitsha. We all acknowledge you. We appreciate your presence. Please, let's have your comments. Let's have your questions as we go on in this discussion on beyond premiums, how ethical insurance is reshaping finance in Nigeria. Chejire.
Thank you so much, GBO. Our guest is still in the studio, Ismaeel. I mean, there's so much to unpack in such a little time, but I want to come from this angle. If you look at it, this ethical insurance conversation, if you look at it from the prism of financial inclusion and national development, Nigeria is striving so hard to deepen that divide and bring more people into the financial space in a bid to build greater economic resilience. The question is, would you help our global audience understand what role ethical insurance plays, in terms of supporting SMEs, women entrepreneurs, artisans, the underserved largely, that perception where the people have that insurance is for the rich or it's expensive. What role does ethical insurance play in supporting the underserved communities in a bid to contribute to national development?
Okay. Thank you very much for this other question. Okay, so ethical insurance, particularly the Takaful model of insurance, I believe can play a significant role in advancing financial inclusion, national development, because it provides an opportunity to bring closer to people and businesses that are supposedly excluded from conventional financial services. So for SMEs, women entrepreneurs, artisans, and the underserved community, affordable and accessible Takaful solution can protect businesses against risks such as fire, theft, accident, illness, deaths, and probably other unforeseen events that could wipe out years of investment and actually push families or business back into poverty. I believe it can also support access to finance because appropriate risk protection gives financial institutions that greater confidence when extending credit to small businesses. When I know there's an insurance cover on the basis of the facility I'm to give this enterprise as a financial institution, as a bank, for example, I'm more eager and comfortable to give out those facilities. So beyond protection, the principle of mutual cooperation, fairness and transparency and responsible investment that ethical investment is built on and help build that trust that looks to be deficit over time among people who probably may traditionally not have been reluctant to embrace insurance. If I want to use examples in this case, my company, for example, we discovered that when we did an analysis of the participant, the insured we've had over time, we saw that about 35% of them have not even taken insurance before, and they wouldn't have taken insurance if not for this alternative. So that's part of the inclusion we are talking about. Uh, Likewise, looking at technology and alternative distribution channel, because technology is always an enabler in any business that we are doing. So technology and equally several other alternative distribution channel can further make this solution accessible through the banks, cooperating, most importantly, the fintech or the insurtech platforms of this world that we have available, out there. So ethical insurance, in another sense, should not be viewed merely as another insurance product anyway. It can be a powerful instrument for financial inclusion, wealth preservation, enterprise sustainability, no matter how small or how big, and equally economic resilience. Particularly, if the industry continue to develop simple, affordable, and need-based solutions for the underserved. So I think those are the brief answers I could give to the question you asked. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We take questions from our audience. Let me start with this question, even though you have answered this somehow before. Samuel Ogu is asking this question, that what are the ways in which insurance companies will build this trust? We have been talking about trust deficit. But if I go to the street now, how do I simplify without big grammar, telling the people on the street of the practical steps insurance are taking to enhance customer confidence in buying insurance and changing this narrative that we are talking about?
Okay, so thank you very much for this question. Yes, trust has been deficit in the insurance industry. So I think for us within the industry, from the practitioners, the insurers, the underwriters, and also our regulator, we need to create more awareness for people to know that when insurance policies are bought and they suffer a loss, legitimately they will be paid their claims. And this is being enforced from the regulator's point of view. The other time we've talked about NIRA 2025, which is the new Insurance Reform Act, and it speaks to consumer protection, protecting the policyholders in ensuring that when claims are filed and they have a legitimate claim, they are actually paid swiftly and promptly. To a large extent, I think educating the public too is very important. Let me use this example. The third-party insurance that is being bought, when you have, of course, if you're a motor owner in Nigeria, compulsorily you must own a third-party insurance. Most people just believe third-party insurance is police let me go.
Police let me go.
But to a large extent, this is a compulsory insurance that you must have as a car owner in Nigeria, which must be part of your car documentation. And will you believe that if an incident occurs and you have your third-party insurance certificate with you, the liability on the insurance company is either to the tune of 3 million naira or 5 million naira, as the case may be. So that when you have a third-party insurance certificate and you hit a vehicle on Nigeria road today You don't need to come down from there and start fighting. Rather ask
But
him.
people will be fighting and begging.
You see, it's
It's
part
either
of
they
the
are fighting or
education that
begging.
Yes.
is
How do we do the
required.
narrative?
They don't need to do that.
Yes.
Just ask, does he has a third party insurance certificate? And if he has, you don't need to fight. Just I mean, contact the insurance company, take your pictures on the spot, and go and claim your money. You don't need to fight. So I just use that as an example because, again, these are things people probably don't know. They just say, I've just paid premium, I've just obtained it as a certificate. And some people feel, again, when it comes to pursuing claims with an insurance company, maybe the process is rigorous. It's not.
Yeah.
So far, it is a genuine claim. Getting your claims paid by an insurance company in the Nigerian insurance industry today, is each free. Honestly, is each free.
Fantastic. Okay.
I wouldn't know whether I answered that question, but I
Yes.
just practical example to illustrate, the answer to that question.
Okay. You see, the next one from Mr. Fagbola Temitope is just corroborating what we are discussing now, where he is saying that good as insurance sound on paper, some handlers are making claims. Please don't let us have this. I've edited that. Please, let's take down this. I've edited it. Um, Good as insurance sound on paper, some handlers are making claims difficult when due practically. I have due claim from an insurance company for the past 3 years, haven't signed necessary papers, yet no payment. Is insurance really like this? And I think these are the things that you have already mentioned. Let me add this to this conversation. What happened when the funds contributed is not adequate to settle claims under insurance period? This is coming from Awazi Sunday.
Okay. Thank you very much. Maybe I should answer that last question.
Yes, answer the last one, sir.
Okay, I will quickly say this. Insurance thrives on law of large number, where so many people come together to contribute into a pool to compensate the unfortunate few of them that might suffer a loss within that insurance period. So in most cases, we are talking of the contribution of the many to settle the claims of the few. That's why I say it thrives on law of what? Large number. So in most cases, when a loss occurs to any of the insured within that insurance period, technically, there's always enough funds in that common pool to settle that claim. But let's even assume that, okay, within a period, the fund in that common pool runs deficits and couldn't accommodate the claim to be settled within that period. That is why the insurer or the underwriter bring to bear his own managerial acumen. So funds from the underwriter could be injected into that common pool to settle that claim at that point in time to ensure that first off, the claim is settled. Over time, when that common pool becomes buoyant financially, that infusion of funds can be pulled back to the common pool as the case may be. That might be a practical solution to where when the common fund runs deficits and claims are to be paid within that insurance period. And I want to say this again. The premium collected by the insurance company, by the insurer over time, is not left idle. They equally invest it over time to yield returns. So that over time there will be enough fund to settle claim. That's one aspect. Secondly, except a catastrophe happens within the insurance period, there's always an estimation of among the pool of 1,000 people, maybe 30 of them might suffer a loss within the same insurance period, which of course brings to bear that the common pool will be substantial enough to settle claim at any point in time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe your questions have been answered, Samuel Ogu and Awazi Sunday. As we bring this conversation to a close, Ismaeel, let's assume you're invited in your capacity as the Chief Business Development Officer at Noor Takaful Insurance, and you're asked to speak at the Nigerian Economic Forum with the theme Beyond Premiums and How Ethical Insurance is Reshaping Finance in Nigeria. Can you please run our global audience through some of the key points that would be included in your presentation?
Okay, so I will quickly run through this. And I will say, if I were invited as the Chief Business Development Officer of Noor
Very
Takaful, briefly, okay. Now, I will, look at beyond premium, how ethical insurance is reshaping finance in Nigeria. So I will look at from premium to purpose, from P2P, I call it from P2P, from premium to purpose. Explaining that insurance should not be viewed merely as a transaction, but as a mechanism for protecting livelihood, businesses, and the national wealth in general. Equally, I will delve into the understanding ethical insurance and Takaful, highlighting the principles of Takaful that I've mentioned earlier: mutual cooperation, shared responsibility, transparency, fairness, and so on and so forth. Then trust will be viewed as a new currency of insurance, because there's always been a case of trust deficit, showing how transparency, clear product disclosure, and responsible claims management, and if equally being customer-centric, and strengthen the confidence in the insurance industry. Ethical insurance and financial inclusion I've mentioned earlier, focusing on how affordable and accessible Takaful solution can protect SMEs, women entrepreneurs, artisans, farmers, and so on and so forth. So basically, I will just conclude over time by saying that when we look at premium payment in insurance industry, I would say payment of premium in insurance is ultimately about people, protection, and the purpose of which they bought the insurance ab initio. So if we can build an industry that Nigerians trust, they understand and can easily access this insurance product, ethical insurance can become not just a financial product, but a powerful instrument anyway for inclusion, for financial inclusion, resilience, financial resilience, most importantly, and ultimately national development. So in summary, just to manage time.
All right, thank you very much. Trust as a new currency, that would be our new legal tender, so to speak, in insurance company. Excellent. So as we close, so the new slogan for us in ICAN is "We are ICAN." So ICAN is always open to ideas that will positively advance the growth of its members and the accountancy profession, as well as the Nigerian business environment. I want to ask you, what is your advice on deepening ethical insurance knowledge to reshape finance in Nigeria? What should ICAN do? What can ICAN do to contribute to this?
Okay, thank you very much. Briefly, I will say that my advice is that we need to move ethical insurance knowledge from being a specialized subject understood by only a few practitioners into a more of a mainstream component of financial and business education. And in this case, I believe ICAN as a body can play a significant role or a strategic role by incorporating ethical finance, of which Takaful is a subset, into relevant professional development programs, technical sessions, yes, conferences, research, even case study, and continuous professional education for members. And I feel that there is equally an opportunity to deepen collaboration between several institutes. ICAN, for example, CIN, even our regulators, NICOM, even the academia, and other professional bodies to develop this practical knowledge around risk management, ethical investment, governance, financial reporting, which is a core aspect of what, of course, the accountant does, Sharia principles, which is part of the fundamentals that underpins the operation of, Takaful and Islamic finance in general. So So ethical insurance, again, rather than presenting it only from a theological or theoretical perspective, if we can build a generation of supposedly finance professionals who understand both conventional and ethical finance model, I think we will create better informed. We will create better informed decision makers, stronger governance, and of course, greater innovation and increased confidence in the financial system. So ultimately, for me, deepening ethical insurance knowledge is not about promoting one model over another. No, it is all about expanding choices, strengthening ethical standards, and equally equipping Nigerians with the knowledge to make better financial decisions. So in my own view, is how ethical insurance can contribute meaningfully to reshaping the finance and supporting sustainable economic development in Nigeria. So I believe ICAN as a body has a significant role or more of a strategic role to play in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have done justice to this discussion. Beyond premiums, how ethical insurance is reshaping finance in Nigeria. Mr. Ismaeel Ayanlere, the Chief Business Development from Noor Takaful Insurance Company. Thank you very much for coming to ICAN On Air. We appreciate your deep knowledge and experience in answering our questions and enlightening our audience. You've done very well. We hope to see you again to discuss this. On behalf of the on behalf of ICAN On Air and our 62nd president, we say thank you for coming and we wish you the best in your next endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm highly appreciated to be associated with the body and to have this privilege to present to the entire member of ICAN. It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank
You are
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, what a conversation it has been, DBO. A deeply enlightening and knowledge
In
enriching
fact,
session we've
it is
had.
a reborn for me. It is a reborn.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Eh?
It
Like
is.
I'm
Oh,
reborn into insurance industry and the knowledge.
yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
third party insurance thing that you mentioned was very, 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 very instructive. If I see two people fighting on the road again, I will just tell them,
I
do
will
you have
just be
third party
asking.
insurance? Don't do
I will
that.
just be asking. At least one of you should have third party. So why are
Exactly.
you fighting? Why are you fighting or begging? All
Oh,
right.
so what a wonderful
Nice
session.
topic.
Yeah, we had of that, but I think we have announcements that we need to quickly take as we round up the program. So I will just go
Please go ahead.
first. Yes, ICANN has issued a notice of temporary system shutdown. The institute's customer relationship management system will be undergoing a comprehensive system upgrade, structural maintenance, and optimization, of course, to ensure service delivery. And it's happening from 12 a.m. on Wednesday, 29th July 2026 to 12 a.m. on Monday, 3rd of August 2026. During this period, the CRM system and all services dependent on it, including the portal and payment platforms, will be temporarily unavailable. And the improvements are part of ICANN, our institute's commitment to providing us with a more efficient, secure, and seamless digital experience. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this temporary interruption may cause, and we appreciate, of course, your patience, understanding, and thank you for your continued support. September 2026, Diet of the ATSWA examination. ATSWA is a pathway to a rewarding career in the accounting profession. Registration is now open. Take advantage of this opportunity to move closer to becoming a certified accounting professional. Examinations dates September 22nd to 23rd, 2026, and the registration deadline is September 17th, 2026. Complete your registration early and ensure that you download your exam dockets ahead of time. And the drum should roll. It's the 56th Annual Accountants Conference. This year promises insightful technical sessions, distinguished speakers, high-level networking, meaningful conversations, and exceptional delegate experience that is designed for today's accounting professional. Every detail has been thoughtfully considered, including this year's premium conference materials, carefully curated to reflect the quality and prestige of the conference. The conference will be holding at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center in the nation's capital, Abuja, on Sunday, the 18th to Friday, the 23rd of October, 2026. And the theme is Beyond Numbers, Strengthening the Economy, Securing the Nation. Your conference experience starts with choosing the participation category that suits you. Registration fees, category information are all available on the AAC flyers. And remember, registration is strictly online. It is your turn to be part of the conversation, connections, and moments that will define this year's conference. Over to you, DBO.
The exam is no longer coming. It has officially arrived. Registration for the November 2026 Diet Professional exams is now open. If you're an ICAN registered financial student, this is your opportunity to take the next step towards becoming a chartered accountant. Register early, avoid the last minute rush, and give yourself enough time to prepare for success. The registration period is Monday, July 20 to Thursday, November 5, 2026. No extension will be granted beyond November 5, 2026. Examination dates remain Tuesday, November 10 to Thursday, November 12, 2026. Please take note. The examinations are open to ICAN registered financial students only. Payment alone does not constitute enrollment for the exam. Candidates are required to obtain the appropriate exemption approval where applicable before completing the registration. Kindly check the flyer on our social media platform for more details. And we also want you to know that ICAN Taxation and Fiscal Policy faculty is presenting 7-day international and digital economy taxation certification program from 17th to 25th of August 2026. It is hybrid. It will afford you 30 MCPD credit hours. The fee is 250,000 naira and it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So please check the website to get more information. And we also want you to know that you can turn your idea into thriving business venture. Please go to our website on ICAN EDC entrepreneurial training for fintech module, as well as for the fintech module and professional practice module. It is virtual for 30,000 naira and physical 40,000 naira. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an exciting time today. I'm so excited.
Yes,
Like I said, I was reborn into insurance today. My name is Dr. Bode Oguntoke, FCA. Call me DBO. I'm so excited to be with you. We look forward to see you again. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Kemute Tijiri FCA signing off from here. Goodbye.